about you, baby. Yeah, I'm mad about you.
Hey, this is Time Bomb, and if it's your first time checking out the channel, hit that subscribe button for daily updates. Thanks a lot for joining me today. I'm doing another episode in my Playbook series, and this week, again, by request from Carter Webster, I'll put your request for the Patriots Playbook. So I gotta say, I had been meaning to really get into this playbook. I had used it like a little bit when I was more into Draft Champions in the fall. I know it was a very popular book this year, and I mean, we can see why, because it has a lot of the very meta plays that you, I'm sure, are very familiar with. But myself, I wasn't having that much success with it. I don't like to use the meta stuff necessarily. I mix it up. I like to do some different things, and I had a hard time with those things. I felt like I couldn't find anything new much from this playbook, so I think that's what kind of made it a little tougher for me for what I've been doing in these playbook series, is trying to bring something a little bit different, but that's not necessarily the case. So I have a pretty tight scheme that I'm going to get into, but first, let's just go over the playbook. We see right here, it has 11 single back plays. This single back wing, this whole the whole book has a lot of stretch plays and a lot of good single back plays to run them from. All of those aces, this ace close formation, that's my favorite formation out of here. The slot, they all have stretches. The wing, Problem's been using that a lot to run out of. It's very effective. This wing slot as well. And then we've got the tight slots. Now, although it doesn't have the halfback wham, it has this halfback wheel play, that drag cross ups right there, the bench, the dive. You can make that into a little wham by motioning your tight end. This draw and that mesh. Just a lot of great plays out of here, and just this stretch right there out of that one with the 3 wideouts throws your opponent. And it's also got a decent strong pro here that you can run out, and it has this close. Now in the gun formation, we've got this the split close pass, which has a lot of really good plays here. This halfback power O is a great run play. You don't even need to motion. The play action F slide, this mesh, this halfback wheel, which is one of the, I would say earlier in this year, was one of the biggest meta plays. Just the bunch is really good out of here, and the trips tight end as well. See, the bunch has a base. It's got that PA post. It has this inside cross, bunch trail, corner strike, and it has a counter and a draw as well, if I didn't mention that when I went through. So that's a lot of options. Wait, does it have a draw? No, I can't remember. Yes, it has a draw there. And it's got this tight slot spread with that corner strike, which can be dangerous. You just have to really wait for the cut at the end, and you can burn a lot of people. And then the trips tight end flat, this level sail play, which is just great. Just a lot of good formations. This Y ISO, which I'll also get into. So just see, this book just has a lot of very meta plays that we're all very familiar with this year and have had to play against, and we've seen them. And this book has them all. Now, I'm not going to get into those necessarily. I'm just going to focus on a few plays out of a few formations that I've been working out and I had some success with. So let's get into them. The first formation that I want to talk about is the single back close, which it has this halfback stretch. I like to put that into my audibles. And it also has the halfback zone weak there, which I like, motioning to either side. The bench as well is great to have. And then I really like these Texans drag and this Texan seams play. So I'm going to come out in the drag, and I'm going to give the defense give them a cover 3 to come out in. And I'm going to put them into cloud flats as well as base aligning. So the whole part of this game, we see the play art, is I'm always putting that running back into a block, and I always like to take this tight end running this this corner route, and I like to motion him over to this side of the field. And 1, it makes it look like a run. 2, it changes that corner route into a post route. And 3, it really throws my opponent off in what I'm doing. And this is the whole this is the whole setup, I would say, of my scheme out of this ace close formation is motioning that tight end, because by doing so, it gives more blocking to that side of the field if I do run that way. It makes people think I'm going to run that way, so if I run the weak or the stretch back the other way, it makes it so effective. People just don't see it coming that way. And 3, throwing the ball out of this formation is great. I have 4 routes ready to send at him here down the field to attack. So I've got, drags running opposite ways, that post route going over the field to the outside, and then that streak, kind of like that arc streak going right up the seam, ready to attack, which I get a lot of good field touchdowns with. A lot of good downfields plays. So much. I see Y getting open. Gonna burn him. It's as simple as that. Just reading kind of through the defense. Let's try it out with the cover 2 here. And I'm actually gonna put that defense into a deep blue there. See how it does. Always blocking the running back, and I'm gonna motion my tight end over. Now occasionally I'll put Cooks here. I'll put him into a fade route going deep, so I just kind of might be able to pull some people over that way. Ooh, I don't really like anything here. And I take the sack. It just seemed a little covered deep, so I didn't want to go for it. I should have probably checked down to the drag. Try that again. I'm going to put the defense in that cover 2 again. And there we go. Motion Allen over. Cooks is in a fade again. See, yeah, I'm just going to try to check it down. Oh, wow, little bobble pick. Should have waited a little more for that to develop. Get out of here, Bar. There we go. I'm going to put the defense. Clear up the field that way. So let's take a look at some of the gameplay footage here I have. You see I'm in close here, and I've already motioned the tight end over, and I'm just setting the run direction for myself there, and just kind of barking some orders, making it seem like maybe I am going to do a passing play, and then I just do the quick little handoff there. That's that halfback zone weak, just going right in there. Now again, we see me motioning that tight end over. Again, like I said, it's just setting up that same thing. It makes it look like I'm doing the pass play, adds that run support, but I'm actually going to run the stretch back the other way. And see, he's got no one there in front of him to really make the play. All those guys got to come over and chase me. We see here it's a way downfield. I'm coming from my own 45-yard line, and I'm going to run the stretch with the blocking. Takes a big spin move to make a miss, but then you can see I've got pretty much all daylight on the way to the end zone here. Is the last man going to make the play? No, I'm going to get by. Here we're close to the end zone again. I've already motioned the tight end over to the right side, and I've got X on a drag, but I've got B open, and I just can hit him right as it gets past the user there, into the flat, get almost into the end zone, take it down to the 1. Again, we see me here, like I said, just motioning that tight end over to that side of the field, then dropping back, just trying to read the field and seeing what's open, just taking whatever's given to me, and if I have Y, then I will throw it down and just kind of, just lead the pass a little bit upfield to try to make it. Oh, there we can see I can just throw it to A right up the seam. I see the user's not dropping back enough to cover that midfield, and when that happens, when you're in sort of a cover 2 or there's just only a blitz situation here, then you've got A open. You can just find him up top. If you can beat the last man, you're pretty much gone for that touchdown too. And that route of that seam streak, like I'm talking about, that angles over, it gets open so much. Just the way it looks, that arc that it takes, it kind of just gets a little glitchy, I think, and messes up the AI. Sometimes you got to use a spec catch like that, but you can definitely find that route in the end zone. It's as I got closer to the end zone, I found myself going to the ace close even more and more. I would kind of start my drive out in the ace close, work to a bunch or a shotgun formation, then work back to the ace close as I got into the red zone. So the next formation is, it is again a meta, very, very much a meta formation, but I think it bears mentioning because I was just using it so much. It's, the corner strike out of the gun bunch, which, we've seen a million times in competitive play. I'm sure you can find a bunch of different setups for it online. But you know what? You're only going to find this setup from Time Bomb. And it's very simple. When I'm on kind of the right side of the field, I'll generally will put A into a streak, B into a drag, and I'll just block everyone in the backfield. You should typically ID someone who I think might be trouble. I'll then take the A route, and I'll motion him over to the left side of the field. I find a lot of times can help get an opening. See, B is just the only thing that I had there. It's kind of just going against a random play, so I'm just going to read the defense as it comes to me. This looks like a blitz. Again, I'm going to run it this way. Gonna motion him over and just take a look at whatever's open. I'm just gonna take what they give me. You can see that deep route, just like that. It seems to break down the coverage. See, ooh, it's a little interesting the way that he's giving me that cover 3 look. I kind of want to attack it a little differently, so I'm gonna put them all into streaks in this situation. Motion over Amendola, and I'm kind of going to be looking for RB for Gronk up the middle a little bit more here. Ooh, a lot of people attacking me. Throwing it outside, we find him again. I've been scoring a lot of touchdowns with that play up the middle there, and just having that C route cut out seems to just kind of throw the deep route off. It kind of wants to stick with it and cover it. The other way that I kind of set this up is when the ball's a little more on this side of the field, then I just kind of leave it like that with the corner on that side, and then I'll put Cooks, the X receiver, into a drag coming this way, and just kind of like take a look at it, feel it out, and you can find A right up the middle like that if that seam opens up. You can if they stay in the flat, and you can look for B over there. See, as it cuts over, you can find him right there. Just kind of, a lot of times I'll use that possession catch. So this corner strike, just with those 3 routes, you can attack all sorts of different areas of the field. And you may only have to dedicate like a 4th route really if you're just seeing opening in the defense, like you saw here as I was getting the random play. I was just I like this play, this corner strike, because I can just adjust from what the defense is doing so easily. It's kind of like I'll be using that. It's basically setting up my ace close, and then the only other thing really that I was running out of the bunch is the halfback draw, which I don't have in my audibles right here. But it's just using that tandem is letting they're like worried about, because they'll just be going from check downs on whichever side I'm on and going deep, and then I'll switch to the draw, and people just get thrown. You can easily pick up like 70. You can easily make 70-yard drives in like 3 plays using this little scheme out of the corner strike from these 2 sides of the field, changing your setup, and then using those draws, and it's toast. It's 14 points every game using this until they really clue into it. So let's take a look at some of my gameplay footage. I will sometimes leave that RB route of the tight end in the flats too, just because it gives another option as a check down. See here I playmakered the drag route up the field as well. I don't know if you guys have your playmaker skills unlocked, but it's very important to compete online because you need to use it at a desperation. I always have playmaker as my red chem on my wideouts. See here, not giving much options, and again I playmaker the B route up the field. I can't emphasize enough how important it is to have a drag route that you have the ability to playmaker with, or just having curls that you have the ability to playmaker with if you're not used to the drags. We see here I just find that opening seam, I find B, I put him into a fade route and find him deep over the middle. I'm just holding down B, just sending bullet passes. I'm not lobbing it, I'm not double tapping. I like to just hold it down. That's the best way I found to get it over everyone, and then I just lead it straight up or on the ankle or wherever that I need. I lead the ball to the open field. I'm trying to throw these guys open if they have a step, because that's the best way to not get picked. As much as it sucks, there's nothing worse than those deep bombs getting picked. Again, we see there, I just throw it into the open field as soon as he gets a step. See me here, I'm motioning over A to the other side of the field, and you can see he just doesn't have the coverage in the middle. I've got to step on him. As soon as I got the jump, I just got to send that ball deep enough that he can pick it up, breaks one tackle, stutter steps through two, he's going to get into the end zone. And those big touchdowns, I love to get them early in the game. I would say half of my weekend league wins, it was because I was using those plays early and just getting an early score to just get that lead. And just, if you score early in a game, it basically just gives you another possession in that half, maybe another possession in the game. So I know the bunch is meta, but there's a reason for it. You got to find those plays like this corner strike, figure out a way that you can use it. Take that one right there and maybe get some extra touchdowns in your games. Okay, and the last formation that we're going to look at here, it is this trips Y ISO. The big play for me out of it is the play action deep outs. Now, the great thing about this play is that those out routes on the side of your wide receivers, or your one wide receiver and your tight ends, we see Gronkowski is there, they're a little bit deeper than your typical out route. Like they're going, 10, 15 yards where they break. So a lot of times those can get over clouds. They just get played in a different way from the deeps. Like the clouds has to kind of commit to it. This might get converted into man coverage as well because it's the only one on that side of the field. I'm just gonna check the defense. Okay, we'll set them up like that. And all I would like to do is really motion this A route over to the other side of the field, cancel the play action, and then when he gets there, I'm just kind of looking deep. If I got B, then I'll just throw it to him and just take that safe little, that little throw out of bounds there and grab those 15 whenever I can. I can also occasionally put Y into a drag, so it gives me a little check down as A moves over. If I'm looking deep, then I have something a little safe over here as well as I go through my progression. See, A's kind of open there. I don't like it though. Y, I'm just gonna hit him safely and the sidelines there. So you see a lot of little safe plays too that you can make. X here, see, I'm gonna put him onto the drag this time. So I've also got Y running that kind of post route. It's a deep post route up in the middle of the field, so that can get open as well. We'll see if the safety is going to react to A running that streak or commit. So it's basically like the choice. Which one's it going to be? Seems like that's open, so we're going to throw it down to the post route. So you've got quite a few routes you can see out of this formation as well. Running out of this formation is amazing. You want to kind of look to run that halfback base and just get outside and around those blockers and then turn it upfield just like that. It's a great run play, especially if you've already been hitting those deep out routes for first downs. If you've been hitting them deep on these bombs for this play, it's just so effective to switch it up to that run. I know when I get closer to the end zone, I start running out of this formation. I get a lot of 25-yard touchdown runs out of this one. Can I hit A on this? No, this is going to get picked off for sure. Didn't get picked off. Ball was there. He couldn't hold on to it, though. So I wouldn't say it's a good throw, but it was a throw. And I'm always just basically, what I like about, see, the X and Y routes are basically running parallel to each other until their routes break. So you can see the cloud flat moving over, which I don't have set up this time. Yeah, so we'll see how we'll see the cloud flat move over to probably cover Cooks here, and then we can see it break off Y, and it should get open. I'm not sure if you're following me, but let's see a visual of it when I'm actually gonna run the play. See Y's. See, did you see how Y got open there? Oh, jumped the pick, but it was a little late. I should have thrown it earlier on the break, but you know what I mean? The cloud flat committed over to the wide out. That's all I'm trying to say. So let's take a look at some of the gameplay footage here. A lot of times, too, I'll be barking so many audibles that if you do that before a run play, it can kind of throw off your opponent because it seems like, oh, he's definitely doing a pass play. I motion my X receiver over to the right side of the field, hand the ball off, hit that seam, cut it in, and then back outside. Look at that. It's like a 50-plus yard touchdown. That's what I'm saying about this formation. I think we have another running play here, too. We get even better blocking, kind of run into my blocker there, have to run around my blocker at the end, and still, I get into the end zone untouched with this play. In a third running play, I'm going to show you again. I move my Gronkowski out over, and then I'm able to just hand it off, and no one can get it close to me. Bad user, but still, you can see, like, that's a clear lane. That's 3 touchdowns. Nobody's getting hands on me before I'm getting into the end zone on that run play. So we see here I'm motioning over, and I find B just in between. They use like it was a tight dot, but he was a dot in between all of those defenders, and I'm able to find him on that out route. And again, just over the head. Must have been a hard flat that time, but you can see I can get it between that and the deep blue on those deep outs on the side here. Again, you just have to watch the coverage. I just like to those routes that are breaking so deep, it really gives you a chance, as long as your blocking is there, to take stock of the coverage, see what's fitting in. I kind of forced that one to X, but it got there just perfectly. I've been using Marino mostly lately, and I find he's making all the throws that I need to. Again, in the end zone right there, I noticed it was man coverage, and he had a step on him at the break, and I'm able to find him in the end zone just using that stock deep out. There I check it down to a drag route coming over from the A. I had motioned him over to the right side of the field and had him run a drag route back to where he was, which I find pretty effective too, and it gives me a playmaker option like I was talking about earlier. Here we force one in deep, up the seam to A, and he's able to make a spec catch and pull it in. I mean, when things are desperate, that's when I start looking deep. And I've been surprised with how successful you can be. You can gotta throw them open like right there, where I got it just into the perfect placement. And that was to win the game, I think, with 10 seconds left too. So I'm just saying, this play can get it done. Oh yeah, check that out. Just over his hands. I feel like I threw that ball in the perfect... Oh wow, look at his hand go in front of his face. Perfect ball. I'm taking full credit for that one. And I love having this formation to attack with. So I think using that bunch corner strike, that deep outs, and that ace close scheme by motioning the tight end, you have a solid 3 different ways to attack your opponent using this Patriots playbook. I gotta say, I've really enjoyed using it. It took me a while, but I'm down with it. It's not my favorite playbook, but I can see why it's the best playbook, and one of the best playbooks, probably like Bunch, and then Patriots is right up there, and I can see why. It's just not the best playbook for me. So thanks a lot for checking out the video. Hit that like button, give me a like button, hit that subscribe button. Thanks a lot for checking it out, guys. You've been amazing. I've been Time Bomb. Both of those things will continue to be true. I will catch you guys later.
Mad about you, baby. Yeah. I'm mad.